Hello, everyone. A little later than normal. I'm so sorry about that. In typical Mercury retrograde fashion, we had some technical difficulties. But here, let me scoot this down. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about Yule and the different magical traditions that we would do when we are celebrating Yule. Let me try and get this down. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so again, today we are going to talk about Yule. We're going to talk about the different ways that you celebrate Yule and the different traditions that take place when you're celebrating. So for all of you who know, Yule actually is not on Christmas itself. It's supposed to take place on the winter solstice. So the 21st, typically. I'm muted? Oh. Can you hear me now? Okay, everyone, I'm going to check my settings here. Okay, Chris, you said you can hear me fine. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm sorry, Sylvie. Okay, so I'll get started. I'm sorry that you can't hear me. Maybe try like restarting your device. But we're talking about Yule, so we're talking about the winter solstice. So the point of the winter solstice is after that point, the days are going to start getting longer again. We're going to have light for a little bit longer. Oh, that's okay, Sylvie. Don't worry. So, but yeah, so basically we have light for a little bit longer. And so we're starting to realize like, okay, winter's over. Now, if you live in Ohio, like us and where our shop is located, doesn't really feel like winter is going to be over because we tend to get it for a lot longer, right, than maybe other places. But yes, so it's talking about that. It's talking about the light is coming back. We're starting to just really take stock of our home, the space that we feel safe and comfortable in. There's a really big point of turning inward and starting to look at yourself, to follow certain traditions that take place. A lot of the traditions too that we end up doing are very, very similar to certain things for Christmas or things like that. So yeah, but basically I'm going to talk about Yule today. So this should be pretty obvious, but the colors that are associated with Yule are going to be red and green, as well as like white and gold too. Sometimes some silver thrown in there. We have these perfect 7-day candles that you could dress specifically with herbs that are associated with Yule, oils that are associated with Yule, and celebrate it that way. Maybe create some kind of altar. I really like the 7-day candles because you can use them for 7 days, right? Well, for me, it does tend to last a little bit longer, but that's a great way to bring, that holiday season in. So another really popular trend, I guess, or not trend, but a way to celebrate Yule is the Yule log, or as my son, who is 7, calls it, a mule log. But we actually, I think, have a class coming up for this on Saturday, I want to say. Definitely check our website out to make sure I'm not lying, but pretty sure it's Saturday, where you can make your own Yule log. So Lucinda will walk you through it. She made this one, so just to show how good she is at it and she knows what she's doing, right? So this is a Yule log. Now, the way I do it, I don't know if this is what everybody else does, but this is what I do. I'll light these candles probably like a week leading up to it. And then what you're supposed to do, very Sabrina-esque, right? Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. But you light the candles, and then on Yule's Eve, right? So the day of Yule, you actually burn that in the fire that you would have, right? So What's interesting too is that this is actually supposed to be a thing for protection, from what I understand. As that Yule log burns, it's supposed to be protecting your home. So super interesting to me, very visually appealing, really, really fun to do with your kids. If you have any interest in this at all, definitely sign up for that class. All the materials will be provided. So, and then if there's anything else that you like wanted to add, you could always do that as well. So you could bring something for you. So one of the things, I'm going to talk about a couple decks that you can use to really bring in that Yule spirit. So one that's really popular. Now, I don't know if Lorraine Anderson does all of these, but I know she at least did the Samhain one and the Yule one. So it might be something that she does consistently. But the Seasons of the Witch. This is the Yule Oracle. Let me put it up here. So I'll show you the back of it just so you can get an idea. Unfortunately, I don't have one of these open right now. I typically have all of the cards, but I don't right now. But they're going to be gilded red, I'm pretty sure, or green to go along with that Yule coloring. And all of these Seasons of the Witch decks are really, really pretty. They're very visually appealing. Right now, we're having a sale in the store that ends on Christmas Eve, and it'll be 20% off the entire store. So definitely a good time to take advantage of that. So yeah, this is the Yule Oracle. Again, we have one for Samhain, for Mabon, and we did just get the Imbolc one in too, which we did not have before. So that's actually a new release. So I know we're talking about Yule today, but before we know it, it's going to be Imbolc. So definitely check out or consider getting one of those decks too for the next Sabbat coming up. And again, that's the Seasons of the Witch deck. These are super, super popular. And again, they have one for pretty much all the Sabbats. I know they do have a Beltane one as well, but we don't have that in stock at the moment. I'm sure we will as time goes on, right? So I always thought these were so cute. Llewellyn makes these books that describe the different Sabbats. It tells you different associations that are with them, tells you what the Sabbat is really known for, how to celebrate it. Definitely encourage you to read these. I'm going to read the back of the book just so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to go over. All right. Yule, also known as the winter solstice, is celebrated when nighttime has reached its maximum length and there's a promise of brighter days to come as candles are lit and feasts are enjoyed. This guide shows you how to perform rituals and work magic with the energy of rebirth and renewal that comes with the return of the light. There's rituals, recipes, lore, spells, divination, crafts, correspondences, invocations, prayers, and meditations. So definitely recommend this book. Love, love, love the descriptions that they have on here. Like how they say, it's a promise of brighter days to come. It's letting us know that it is okay to like have these things, right? It's okay to have those dark times, which is when like Samhain starts, right? After Samhain is when it starts getting darker. The days are shorter, the nights are longer, and then Yule comes and it starts to switch again. So it's kind of just a promise that even though things can be tough, we can always overcome them and work through it. It's also really important too, because this time of year, especially if you have family members and stuff that are very Christian oriented, right? So they maybe celebrate Christmas instead of Yule or the solstice. So this can be a really tough time of year for people. A really, really tough time of year because first of all, they might feel misunderstood by their parents. They're not celebrating the same things that their family's celebrating. Their ideals are different. Also just grieving, right? Like let's say that somebody passed away and they aren't with you anymore for this holiday. A relationship could have ended, whatever it is. It's just kind of a reminder of where you're at in life. It's also very stressful financially for people because it's like consumerism that's brought up. Everybody, you have to buy a gift, you have to do this, you have to do that. But you know, you don't have to really do anything, but just maybe spend time with your loved ones if you feel inclined to do so. So those are these two books, the Yule book and the deck, The Seasons of the Witch Yule. This is a really cool page. I just opened this up to. So it says there's a protective lorica for Yule. This is a paganized version of the traditional lorica of St. Patrick. A lorica is also referred to as a breastplate, a sort of word armor, and a traditional petition for protection. Repeat these words upon arising on winter solstice morning or upon greeting the solstice sunrise. You could also use this as a daily morning mantra throughout winter. I arise today through the strength of the heavens, light of the sun, splendor of fire, clarity of ice, speed of the wind, depth of the snow, stability of the earth, firmness of the rock, the light has returned. So this is really cool because it's just kind of helping you again to realize that the light is going to be coming, the light will return. We're not going to be in this situation forever, right? Also, what I think is really interesting is they talk about using a gingerbread man as a puppet, which I think is adorable. So yeah, I mean, I guess technically it wouldn't be a puppet because it's not stuffed, but like the sympathetic magic that goes along with that, right? And again, we have these, they do make these books for pretty much all of the Sabbats, but this one, again, specifically for Yule, I know we don't have all of them in stock at the moment, so. Okay, now I want to talk about this Yuletide tarot. This is actually so cute. I'm not usually a big fan of theme decks because I like to be able to use something year long, right? But this, I was very pleasantly surprised how cute it is. Here's like some pictures so you can see. Very traditional like Christmas imagery, but a lot of us grew up indoctrinated into that Christian religion before we turned to paganism and witchcraft. So seeing these familiar symbols is actually like really cute to me. It reminds me of my childhood. It brings me into that like Christmas or holiday spirit, even if I don't necessarily believe in Santa Claus anymore. Don't tell my 7-year-old that. But that's the Yuletide Tarot. This is, let's see, $32.99. If you were to buy this from our TikTok shop, it actually is on sale. Plus, again, 20% off the whole store. So come on in and grab this bad boy. The deck, like I said, is super, super cute. All right. I want to talk about this Llewellyn's book of, or I'm sorry, the Hedwig's Book of Seasonal Magic. So, I think this is by Llewellyn, even if it doesn't say that on here. Let's see. Like all these little book ups. Yeah, okay, so it is Llewellyn. I think this is an adorable book. It's perfect for, again, the Hedwig or somebody who really follows that wheel of the year. Because it's not just, the Sabbats are not just about holidays, right? It's not like this consumerist, all these expectations that are followed. The Sabbats are about honoring that nature's cycles, the cyclical nature of, or the cyclical nature of nature, I guess is what I was going to say. But honoring that, like, there's always the dark and light times, honoring that this happens every single year. It is guaranteed. We can count on it, that these are going to come. Right? That there's something comforting about that because it's the consistency that Mother Earth has that maybe we don't. So when you're honoring Yule, when you're celebrating these Sabbats, try and think about how it's relating to nature and also how it's relating to ourselves, because just like the light's starting to come again, right? The longest night is Yule. And then after that, the light starts coming and the days are longer and longer and longer. So think about how we go into, just like nature, we do that too. So just like these other animals are hibernating, they don't come out. Some of them even just completely pass away in the winter, right? So obviously we're not going to do that, and we don't really have the option to sit there and hibernate in our houses for months at a time like maybe they did in way back when, but we do find ourselves turning inward. We find ourselves focusing more on our home because we're spending more time in our house. We find ourselves just really wanting to be around family, maybe cooking more. The very big focus on hearth and home magic, which we did do a live on a couple weeks ago where I talked about that. So if you missed it, maybe check that out if that's something you're interested in. Because I'm big into like kitchen witchcraft and hearth witchcraft for sure. Hearth and home stuff, right? So, but yeah, honoring that, the seasonal magic, honoring the wheel of the year is so underrated. And I think it can really help you to be so much more in tune with yourself. So yeah. All right, let's see. Now we did get these back in. Pretty much all of our readers have already bought them because they really subscribe to this, right? So this is a Yule thing, but kind of more of like a New Year's Eve type of thing. That it says you burn, oh my gosh, I have to remember how it goes. A bayberry candle burned to the socket. God, I always mess this up. Something, 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 coins in your pocket. Point is, you're supposed to burn the bayberry candle. And a lot of people do this New Year's Eve or around New Year's time. It's supposed to bring prosperity and good luck into the new year. So we have these little guys. These are like the tea lights. We have votives. We have like a big 3-wick candle. And then we also have the pillar candles or taper candles. So bayberry, very, very popular for that. It's just a popular scent in general. When I smell it, I think of Christmas. So that would be something that maybe you can do, a really small little ritual. But yeah. And if anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Again, we're talking about Yule and celebrating Yule, honoring Yule. And like I said before, a lot of the traditions that are Christmas traditions really originated as pagan traditions. This would also be an excellent time to make like a witch's ball. So witch's ball, I like to get like a clear glass ornament. Normally you can pull that top off and fill it up with things that you want. So I'll put, star anise, bergamot, bay leaves, glitter, juniper, whatever it is that you feel, right? But just putting in all of these herbs, crystals if you want, like crystal chips, glitter because it's cute, things like that. And you're putting them all in for a specific reason or a specific intention. I typically do like joy and protection or well-being for mine. So putting those all in the ornament and hanging it up in your home all year long to help kind of bring something into the new year. So and I would love to hear anybody's thoughts, what they do for Yule, how they celebrate the Sabbats. All right, and for those joining, again, we're just talking about Yule and the traditions of Yule. Typically, there is like a big feast. There's a focus on having family around. This is really cute. So this is from that the Yule book that I was showing. So Llewellyn Sabbat Essentials Yule. So it says generosity charm. Save a favorite piece of ribbon from a favorite gift you've received, or if that isn't possible, select an especially beautiful length of ribbon. Wrapping it around both hands, speak these words aloud. However long this season be, my hands are working generously. Leave the ribbon on your altar throughout the holidays and make a point of stopping daily to reflect on the spirit of generosity within your heart and your home. If the ribbon is long enough, bless it as above and use it to wrap a special gift for a loved one. I think that is so cute. So it's talking about the generosity, right? Because I feel like with Thanksgiving, we're giving thanks, right? And then Christmas, it's so consumerist where it's about giving to a certain extent, right? Or going into debt, buying presents for people. So this is talking about just like that generosity charm. And when they're doing that, it's not just generosity like the monetary wise, it's talking about giving parts of yourself, giving yourself emotionally, giving people love and care and affection that they would deserve, right? There is a solstice tarot spread in here. I don't really use spreads all that much, but some people really do. So that would maybe be a good option there. This is cute. A New Year's Eve divination party. So this is showing an idea of like having all your friends over and having some kind of party, right? Where you all probably, I would assume, try and see what is going to come for you in the new year. So gather we as old year ends, together here with knowing friends. As the new year passes by, open up our magic eyes. I really like the little incantations that are in here actually, because they're not super cheesy. There's ingredients for like mead, holiday drinks, different soups, hot chocolate, bath salts. Talks about decorating your home. And decorating your home. You like my sense of humor? Thank you. I'm goofy sometimes, so I'm glad that you said that. So it's talking about like bringing things from outside in, right? So we're doing that in order to bring nature in, and also, hey, it's going to save us some money. So why the heck not? All right. There's a lot of like prayers and stuff you can say. So I did read the one that was talking about kind of protection and things like that. There's different meditations in here that you can do. And then also a lot of like rituals. So the prayers and of course rituals are going to be different. The rituals requires a whole lot more going into it. Okay, so you said you cut an orange and stick cloves into it, sprinkle cinnamon and sugar around and on top, and then stick a candle in the middle and light it. How cute. Yeah. And then you make the wishes for the coming year. That is an excellent combination too, because the cinnamon is that quickness, passion, love. Sugar is that sweetness and happiness. Cloves for protection, and then that orange again for happiness, and looking forward to the new year. So I think that is an excellent tradition. I know my coworker Eileen does that too. So and also for the people who wanted to do it, we didn't have cloves before, we got cloves back in, so you can come get them and make your little oranges. I heard you can even use the wick of the orange or use like it's not called a wick, whatever the white stuff, the white stringy stuff on the orange, you can use that as like a wick, I think. Okay, so this is talking about the Yule log. So let me show the Yule log again. Yule log. And then this is talking about what to do with it, right? So a Yule log ritual is a terrific way for two people to celebrate, whether spouses, friends, or partners. Formal yet informal. Okay, so the purpose: to honor midwinter in the tradition of the Yule log, which is said to bring luck, grant protection, and furnish insights. Traditionally burned on solstice eve, but it could be easily done at any time during the midwinter season, most effective at night. So even if you didn't do the Yule log yet, you didn't burn it yet, like do it on Christmas Eve or something. It's not that important that it's on that exact day. I don't follow rules like that. I kind of do what I want when it comes to rituals and stuff. So if I feel inclined to do it a few days late, I'm going to do it. Since you need evergreen soap or smudge. All right, Yule log. It could be an actual log or a piece of wood dedicated for that purpose. Make sure it's dried and aged wood because you want to make sure it actually burns. So a small log will last through a short evening ritual. If you want the log to burn all night, it will need to be big, and you'll need a lot of smaller firewood to help it ignite. Duh. Also, I know I shouldn't have to say this. I know I shouldn't have to, but please don't just like leave the log outside and have it burn. Like this is if you have a fireplace or something where you're going to be able to actually monitor it. Yeah, so fireplace or fire pit. Okay, so I'm going to skip all the preparation stuff because it's really obvious things that we all know how to do. Okay. The ritual. The ritual begins when the two of you carry the log together, each holding an end, and set it before the fireplace or fire pit. As you do, say, the wheel turns, and then we turn the wheel once again. Working together, adorn the log. Follow the ideas from the recipes and craft chapter to carve an image of the Cailleach and add other inscriptions or tie on wishes and ribbons. So I think that's so cute that they talk about tying on wishes, because I actually did not consider doing that. But now I'm probably going to, because that is really cute. So, all right. Working together, adorn the log. Okay, so this is all part of the ritual. Finish a drizzle of ale or whiskey, an offering to the spirit within the log. That seems important, so do that. When you're finished, put the log in place and lay a smaller fire around it. The small fire's purpose is to ignite the larger log. Both of you together should speak aloud the traditional story of the Yule log. That seems redundant, but anyway. Then extinguish all the lights in the room and sit quietly together in the darkness, each contemplating the past calendar year, the challenges as well as the good times. When you're ready, light the fire together. As it begins to burn, throw in more dried evergreen sprigs and say farewell to the old year. Take turns offering your farewells. Once the Yule log itself begins blazing, it's time to contemplate the year ahead and the power of possibilities. Watch as your carvings and offerings are burned, imagining your wishes being carried skyward. Speak aloud. As you burn, our thoughts go free. As we will, so mote it be. Throw the acorns into the fire to represent the year ahead and speak aloud your plans, wishes, resolutions, and hopes. Also talking about using that fire for fire scrying, seeing what's going to come into the time ahead. Pour yourselves 2 glasses of libation and toast the coming year and to each other. If you feel like it, sing a song over the burning log. The traditional carol, Deck the Halls, is good because it mentions the solstice, the change in the solar year, and the Yule log. Enjoy your cakes and ale. I know I shouldn't be laughing when I'm saying this, but I just it's funny to me singing. Because Deck the Halls is just not the song I would have thought, but if possible, let the Yule log burn down to a few chunks of charred wood and ashes. Depending on your time frame, you may end the ritual long before the log burns down. If you plan to sit with the log through the night, raise the lights a bit, and enjoy telling stories or playing parlor games. Following an ancient tradition, save remnants of the fire and use them to start the Yule log fire the following year. That is super cute. Okay, so this is very ancient. You may wish to exchange gifts as part of this ceremony. You may give gifts that specifically represent the coming year in some way. I don't know how you would do that unless somebody's pregnant or moving or something in here, but I do understand the concept of that. So, doesn't look like a whole lot of people are interacting right now. You're probably busy. Maybe you'll come back and watch later. But I'm going to just read a couple of the spiritual focuses and key words that are in this book. And then I'll probably let you guys go because they're probably going to need help on the floor. It's like I said, happy Yule. So spiritual focus and key words. So beginnings, birth, challenge, compassion, cycles, endings, eternity, gratitude, insight, rebirth, restoration, sacrifice, search for meaning, silence, sleep, and wisdom. So again, talking about hibernating, going inward, talking about really just, it's not a time of doing, it's a time of reflection. So while you're doing this, just reflect on the year that you've had and, spend it with the people that you love. All right, I want to thank you all so much for listening. And again, these items that I talked about are available in store. They're probably available online, but if they're not, just shoot us a message. Thank you so much. And blessed Yule.